So good to have you here with us on this Thursday. It is home day. It is the new year. Maybe you're looking around your space and you're thinking, I'm a little bored. We have a way to make it a little bit more exciting. Please welcome Kimberley, Seldon, Kayne. Sit on my hot pink couch.
I love hot pink.
Isn't that nice?
That's not boring at all. Hot pink sofa would change things.
It would change things up a little bit. And you know, a lot of us do. We look at our, you know, our fitness, our diet, our finances. We look at our decor, right? And the new year.
Always.
And sometimes you want to make a little changes. You don't necessarily want to gut the whole place and reno everything.
Right.
So we're going to talk a little bit like that about that on the show today. But what would you suggest when we're looking around the living room? We're thinking, what am I going to do?
Well, you know what? So the tree came down.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, so I had to redo the entire living room to fit the tree.
Yeah.
And my daughter's sitting there.
Kind of forces your hand then.
Yeah, and she says, you know, Mom, this isn't your best work. And so I changed it all up, took the tree away, and then it gave me the opportunity to actually redo the entire furniture plan.
Right.
So it's sofa, 2 chairs, table. It's easy to do, but that gave it a new, you know, a fresh new look.
A fresh new look.
Yeah, and you're moving stuff anyways. You're moving the tree anyways. Why not
and
move?
you're vacuuming.
And by the way, my tree's not down. Am I still allowed to host this show? My decorations are still up.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Trace.
I don't have time. I don't know. I'm lazy.
Mine were down on the 27th.
I'm really vigilant about that. My whole family's from Arkansas. They just leave them up, so
all year round.
I'm not kidding. My kin have a tree in the corner pretty much year round, but I get rid of mine like on the 28th. But once you do take the ornaments and decorations down, the house feels unfinished somehow. So it is a good opportunity to move things around.
Yeah.
I like to move artwork around because I find you get tired of looking at a painting, or not tired, but you forget what it looks like. You stop seeing it. You know, kind of you take it for granted.
That's so true.
So I like to move things around in the new year.
I like that.
And I find I love them again once I change them.
Absolutely. Well, small changes, as we can see, can make a big impact, but nothing beats a full reno. Elisa Moskovich is a young designer in Karen's firm, and she just bought her first house, and it needed a lot of work.
Elisa and her boyfriend just bought this great home. It's actually 100 years old this year and has tons of potential. I love this house.
We love the character in the house. We love the high baseboards, the stained glass window, the really wide casing.
You know, again, tons of potential, but I know that you want to do a lot here. So we're taking out some walls. For instance, this one here, gone. And you have to be considerate of what is coming out, because here we have a heat return, which obviously needs to be relocated. When you're taking out walls, you have to consult with an engineer or your contractor who really does know what they're doing. We've done a lot of planning.
We have. It's taken us about 2 months.
Yeah, so everything has been plotted out on paper. We know where the new electrical is going. For instance, this wall here, you can see that there's an outlet here and a switch here. Well, because this wall's gone, we need to know where that's going in advance. So the process goes smoothly and we don't run into any glitches. And then once we get into the kitchen, there's even more planning to do.
What we love about the kitchen is the size.
You know what? And it has tons of potential. What drove the design actually was the door from the mudroom into the kitchen. We wanted to make sure that we had tons of storage along this wall and full depth. So we're going to move the door a little bit. I know it was a difficult decision to make because it's a little bit more money than she wanted to spend, but lots of benefit.
Worth it. We're also going to have a center island down the middle and move the sink from the corner to the center of the space.
Right, and new appliances, right?
Yes, we're going to put in a gas range and at the same time put in a gas line for the barbecue.
That's something you want to do at the same time to save money, and then they're done and you can just enjoy.
Looking good. You know what I love about Elisa's house? That's the sort of house so many people are buying right now. It's a fixer-upper because it's all we can really afford usually is a fixer-upper. A fully renovated house is so much money. So there are so many things you can do inside to switch things up, but sometimes you embark on a renovation and things go terribly wrong. Actually, it happens a lot, but then you have to deal with the wrongness, and sometimes the wrongness turns into something right.
Yeah, you know, there's always that, there's a huge level of you know, unexpected things that happen in a reno. You know, you take down a wall or you don't even notice that there was a full trunk line for your air, cold air return. So,
hidden variables, we call them. Hidden variables,
you know,
and
there's
you
all
uncover
kinds
them.
of things that can happen. In this case, we had when we, showed up to the job site, there was a wall that was not supposed to come down, and it was down.
So this happens sometimes. You say to the contractors or the trades that are there, this is what I want done, and you go to get a coffee and you come back and you're like, oh, no, that was wrong.
Exactly.
So a whole wall went down. We've got a picture of that. A whole wall went down that was not supposed to go down.
Correct.
And how did you turn this into a positive, or did it turn into a positive?
We were going to renovate that space anyway. So what we were doing is we were taking away 2 closets and trying to make them into one. Yeah. So what they did is they gutted that whole space. Right. So we ended up creating a niche in that room and put a built-in. And it worked out really well. It actually worked out for the best.
It worked out better.
Yes.
But is that just you being a very creative, smart designer, or like do you have to think about it to make it make sense for you?
It was pretty easy. You know, it just was, you know, we've got this great space. What do we, you know, we need storage, so let's fill it with a great piece of furniture.
Okay, very cool. I like that. Well, a lot of people will do renos and they'll find things like old newspapers when they open the walls, but Scott McGilvery found beer bottles on a recent job, which means people were having fun before they renovated this house. They took out the drywall and there they were. Annie Costa-Denova commented on our Facebook page. She says they found 40-year alcohol bottles when they opened their basement ceiling. My question is, were those bottles full? Because I might have tried them. Doesn't alcohol get better over time?
Sometimes, I think. It depends on the type of alcohol.
Just checking.
We found a bottle of Dom Perignon inside the wall.
Oh, really?
And it was from the same year that my husband was born.
That's fortunate. Wow.
Very cool. Well, Carolyn Shute found a skunk living under the bathroom floor. She says, thankfully, it left without spraying. Oh, wow. And Crystal Hamilton says when they redid their bathroom, they drywalled their stapler behind the wall. 2 years later, when they redid the drywall in the room, they got it back. Give me my stapler back. Very cool. Well, let's go back to the renovation Karen did at Elisa's house. The transformation is pretty dramatic. Take a look.
I cannot get over what a difference taking the walls down made in the space.
I know, it feels so much larger and we love it.
And the sunshine from the southern exposure makes a huge difference as well. Now, taking that wall down was great because you've now got the ability to have a front hall bench and extra seating for the furniture plan, right?
Yeah, what we also did was went with a hide rug. Because we couldn't center the furniture on the fireplace, it adds sort of a nice offset to the area and also
much more random, right?
Yeah.
And the chairs from Elty are amazing. You did a great job with those. I love the low back, and even though, you know, the curve on it makes it much better for the flow in the room.
Exactly.
And the mirror is wonderful because it's sculptural again. It adds some interest in the space. And I like the fact that it doesn't have too much mirror because it only reflects the ceiling when you see that.
Exactly. We also allowed for wiring on that wall, so in the future we could allow for a TV.
Perfect. Yeah. That's great. I love the small scale table. It really fits really well. Yep. And the contrast chairs add a lot of interest, even though they're very simple in design.
They do. And do you recognize this table?
I cannot believe this is the same table. It looks amazing.
Yeah, so we took an existing piece, we sprayed it a charcoal color that contrasts the dining table, and it worked out really well.
You know, great serving spot, and then again, you've got these wonderful stools underneath.
Yeah, and then that adds a lot of extra seating for the dining table as well.
And interest, you know, and again, your artwork, like everything's beautiful, but I love the artwork. It's really great.
And then we were lucky enough to find a great piece from Art Interiors that really complements this piece as well.
Amazing. And your floors turned out beautifully. I love them. And the fact that they go right from the front door all the way through to the kitchen, it just makes the space feel that much more open and airy.
It does.
It's beautiful.
That was dramatic. That was absolutely stunning. What a beautiful space.
Gorgeous space.
So another little unexpected bonus that happened with the southern exposure coming from the backyard.
Yeah, you know, the front of the house faces due north, and so there was, you know, these 2 partitions between the living room and then dining room and then kitchen. And then when we took down that one wall between the kitchen and the dining room, it transformed the house. So we had all this southern light coming in through the rest of the house, and it transformed it. Yeah. One little thing.
Very nice.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay, we all want to get a job with Karen Kayne because
you're going to be busy hiring.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to have more on that particular renovation coming up in future shows, but for now we're headed to break. So more coming up on Home Day. Stay with us.